Good morning and a very warm welcome. This is the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. As always, we are coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. It's the start of a brand new week, and this morning too we are ready with the details of this morning's top local, international and sports news items. They all will be coming right up. Stay tuned with us for the news in detail. Well, this morning we start off the Breakfast Rundown with a headline-making international news item. Of course, the health condition of Pope Francis is a news item that the entire world has been paying attention to. But despite his ongoing health crisis, Pope Francis made sure to acknowledge the 3-year anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine war. Pope Francis remembered the imminent 3-year anniversary of the war in Ukraine on the 24th of February 2025, calling it a painful and shameful occasion for all of humanity, and saying that he renews his solidarity with suffering Ukrainians and for all victims of armed conflicts as he prays for peace. Vatican sources confirmed that following a prolonged respiratory crisis on Saturday, the Pope continues to require supplemental oxygen through nasal cannulas. The latest medical bulletin noted that he also received a blood transfusion to address platelet deficiency associated with anemia. The Pope was first admitted to the hospital on the 14th of February this year after experiencing difficulties in breathing for several days. He is especially prone to lung infections due to developing pleurisy and inflammation around the lungs as an adult, and having part of one of his lungs removed at the age of 21. Well-wishers have been leaving candles, flowers and letters for the Pope outside the Rome's Gemelli Hospital all week. There was no change outside St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican on Saturday evening, however, with no crowd gathering. The Pope has asked for openness regarding his health, so the Vatican has begun releasing daily statements with regards to his health condition. Foreign media reports also stated that Vatican authorities have begun discussions regarding the resignation of Pope Francis due to his ongoing health struggles. Let's move on to our second international news item this morning as well. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that he would be willing to give up his presidency in exchange for peace ahead of the 3rd anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The Ukrainian president said in response to a question during a news conference, and I quote, "If you need me to leave this chair, I am ready to do that. And I can also exchange it for NATO membership for Ukraine," unquote. Now, his comments come after US President Donald Trump called Zelensky a dictator without elections earlier this week. Zelensky said he was currently focused on Ukraine's security and it was not his dream to remain president for an entire decade. Ukrainian legislation bans elections during the martial law, which has been in place since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Now, the EU and world leaders are due to head to Kyiv on Monday to show their support for Ukraine and discuss security guarantees. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, European Council President Antonio Costa and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen are among those expected to attend this meeting in person. Zelensky said the topic of Ukraine joining NATO would be on the table at this meeting, but he did not know how the discussions would finish. He said he hoped the meeting would be a turning point for Ukraine. On the topic of Trump, Zelensky said he wanted to see the US president as a partner of Ukraine and more than a mediator between Kyiv and Moscow. Let's move on to local news for this morning now. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says that all measures have been taken to ensure national security in Sri Lanka. She emphasized that she strongly condemns the statements that are being made by various factions regarding national security with various political motives. She pointed out that the government has taken steps against such individuals despite their titles and whatever positions that they hold. She also assured the general public that there is absolutely no threat to national security in our country. She went on to state that such claims were simply made by opposition members with the aim of destabilizing the incumbent government. She expressed confidence that the Tri-Forces and the Sri Lanka police will take all steps necessary to ensure national security in Sri Lanka. Let's move on to a series of weather news now. In addition, the Met Department issuing a warm weather advisory says that the heat index, or the temperature felt on the human body, will reach the caution level at some places in the northern, north central, northwestern, western and Sabaragamu provinces, as well as in the Galle and Mathura districts. Accordingly, the heat index, which indicates the temperature felt on human body, will increase up to caution level in these regions. Individuals working outdoors are advised to stay hydrated and take breaks in the shade as often as possible. The Met Department's advisory says that those remaining indoors should always check up on the elderly and the sick, and that it's also extremely important to not leave children unattended inside vehicles. People engaging in outdoor activities are advised to limit strenuous exertion, find shade and remain hydrated right throughout. Additionally, wearing lightweight, white or light-colored clothing is recommended to manage the impact of this heat on the human body. The Met Department has also provided the telephone number 011 744 6491 for further clarifications. That telephone number once again 011 744 6491. Let's move on to the weather forecast for this morning. Now, rainy weather is expected over the northern, north central, eastern, Uva and central provinces and in the Hambantota district from tonight for the next few days. Showers will occur in the northern, north central, eastern, Uva and central provinces and in the Hambantota district in the night. Showers or thunder showers may occur at several places in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts during the evening or night as well. Fairly strong winds of 30 to 40 kilometers per hour can be expected over the northern, eastern, north central and northwestern provinces and the Mathale and Hambantota districts. Misty conditions can also be expected at some places in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts during the morning. And as always, the general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Let's move on to more local news now. Today marks the 6th day of the parliamentary debate on the second reading of the appropriation bill that we also call the budget speech. The parliament is scheduled to convene at 9:30 a.m. today for this purpose. The second reading of the appropriation bill or the budget speech took place in parliament last week. President Anurakkumara Dissanayake, in his capacity as the Minister of Finance of Sri Lanka, presented the 79th budget to the Parliament. The second reading debate is scheduled to be held for 7 days, starting from the 18th of February to the 25th. The committee stage debate on the appropriation bill is scheduled to be held for 19 days, including 4 Saturdays, from the 27th of February to the 21st of March. And the voting on the third reading of the appropriation bill is scheduled for the 21st of March at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, Deputy Minister of Housing T.B. Sarat says that a special program is being implemented to prevent wild elephants from colliding with trains near forest reserves along the Batticaloa-Colombo railway line. He stated that there are also plans to install solar panels along this route. The Deputy Minister added that attention has been paid to imposing speed limits when trails travel past such forest reserves. Meanwhile, a special discussion is scheduled to be held today regarding the use of technological tools to prevent wild elephants from colliding with trains. The meeting is expected to be attended by a number of parties, including officials from the Departments of Railways and Wildlife and innovation specialists. Now, the 58th session of the UN Human Rights Council will begin today in Geneva, Switzerland. A delegation including Minister of Foreign Affairs Vijay Herath left for Geneva, Switzerland yesterday to participate in this 58th session of the UNHRC. The delegation is scheduled to participate in the session on the 28th of February. And in sports news this morning, it's cricket. The sixth match of Group A of the 2025 Champions Trophy will be played between New Zealand and Bangladesh today. New Zealand is currently in second place in the Group A points table, while Bangladesh is in third place. If New Zealand wins today's match, they will secure their place in the semi-finals of the tournament. For Bangladesh to keep up their hopes alive in this tournament, this match is crucial for them to win. Today's match, which will be held in Rawalpindi, Pakistan, is scheduled to kick off at 2:30 p.m. Sri Lankan time. You can catch all the live action, of course, of the Champions Trophy 2025 on TV1, channel of the MTV network, which is the official domestic broadcasting rights holder, and on the website www.sirasatv.lk. Well, that's a wrap of this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. Do join us once again tomorrow as well at 7 a.m. right here on TV1 for more of the very latest from here at home and around the world. Until then, take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.